Hi everybody, Mike Fifer with Fifer Hobby Supply again. Today I thought I'd just go over a little bit of track cleaning and how I do it on the Albuquerque Carnival and Harris. It seems to be everybody wants to know how I do it, and I'll take you out in the room and we'll take a look and I'll go over some of the ways that I do it. So let's go have a look. Hi everybody, here we are. As everyone knows, there's many different types of track cleaners. The CMX, the Centerline, the Atlas cleaner, Microtrains has one. But in the end, what I prefer in my room here, and I don't have one in its normal form, but something like this. It's a Roco car. And it's nothing more than a scrubber. It has a little pad on the bottom, and you drag it around behind the train, and it buffs the rail. This is what I prefer to run in each one of my trains, excluding the passenger trains. I'm going to go into how I modify these cars in a few minutes here, but I'll take you inside and we'll kind of go over how the process takes place when I have to clean track. Okay, here we are inside the ACT. In my room, I have it maybe much better than a lot of you do, but here's what I came up with when I built the room. I have the heating and air conditioning from the house is forced air, and it's forced into this room, and I don't have any return air in this room. So anytime the air conditioner or heater comes on and blows into this room, it blows contaminated air out. And it just kind of worked that way, but it seems to work real well in this room. So anytime that the house air or heat is on, it's pressurizing this room and forcing contaminants out. I find that works real well. And aside from that, I know that a lot of you don't have the luxury of having a room that you can seal up. But my suggestion to you would be is try and keep the contaminants around that area to a minimum. And even in those cases, I know that a lot of times that's not possible. But I'm going to go through my method here of what I use to clean the rails on the ACT. And I generally start by running a centerline cleaner around with alcohol on it. And I'll see if I can find one here and show it to you real quick. Okay, here's my little Centerline car. Many of you have seen these. It's just a box. I don't even put a shell on it. It's got a hole in the middle and a little roller with a towel. I tie a string around there to keep it from coming off if you run it backwards. Just drops down in there, and this basically just rolls on the track. The way I start cleaning my track is I have two of these. I put one on the track, I apply alcohol to the lead one, and then I take the second one and I just run a dry towel behind it. And I try and hit all my sidings and all the mainline track, and if I'm really energetic I'll do the sidings and stuff, but I generally clean those by hand. And I run these around 3 or 4 times on each main line. Okay, and once I've run the alcohol pads around, I generally take the lead alcohol pad, which is generally dried up by then, and I apply a product called Rail Zip to it. Just a small amount on there, maybe a drop or two. And then I take that and the clean towel behind this car and I run them around the track another 4 or 5 times to put some of this on and then take the excess off with the rear car. What this is designed to do is just fill the minute scratches in the track and give you a little bit better conductivity. However, anybody with steep grades and stuff, of course this will decrease your tractive effort. And it is said by a lot of people that this creates gum on the wheels and so forth. I don't find that true here. If you put it on and take if you put it on very sparingly and you take the rest of it off and just leave a very minute film of this on the track, this is not a problem. But I use Rail Zip faithfully, and I have very few problems with my track running out here. And beyond that, it's just dragging these around. And then now I'll show you the sticks that I make to clean tunnels and so forth by hand, and how I clean the sidings by hand in hard to reach places. Okay, here's the sticks that I make for cleaning tunnels and so forth. I just hot glue a little piece of a Createx pad to about a 20-degree angle on a wooden dowel, and this allows me to get into tunnels. And of course there's some flex in the stick which allows you to put some pressure down on the track. I make them in different lengths. I got a couple here, a short one that's a little more rigid, and also if you notice this one has a lifelike pad on it which is a little more non-abrasive than the Createx pad. And this is what I use for tight spots. It makes it a little bit easier to put them on the stick than take that little block and run it around your track where you're knocking off all your scenery and everything. These are a little bit more controllable. And once again, you can hot glue it to the top of the stick. You just cut a little angle on the stick, cut up the block, and you can make several of these out of one block. But this is what I use for track cleaning tunnels and so forth. And now I'm going to show you how I modify the Roco cars that I talked about earlier. Okay, here I have one. You can see the, get a little closer here, you can see the block hanging underneath this one. It basically just floats on the track. This one is my own road name. It's one that I've decaled for myself. As you notice, there's a little more detail to this one than the one that I showed you the picture of. What I do is take the Roco frame and I put the stirrups and so forth that come on the Microtrains car. I cut little notches in this frame and I put the Microtrains stirrups on there, and it just so happens that a 40-foot Microtrains boxcar body will fit right onto one of these with just a little bit of cutting, and I glue the body in place, and now I have basically a Microtrains track cleaner, and I have about 6 or 7 of these. And those Roco cars are no longer available. They were made by Model Power also for a while. Why they discontinued making them, I don't know. As you can see from the bottom of this, it does the same thing that my little track scrubbers that I was showing you do. Only I have one of these in each train, and that maintains the cleanliness on the track. The only trains I don't put these in is the passenger train, because I haven't modified a passenger car yet. But anytime I find these on eBay, I buy them so that I can modify them into a decent looking boxcar to haul in a train. Another little product I want to show you guys today, I'm real fond of, is the Minitrix locomotive wheel cleaner. It has a bunch of little bristles here on the top, and on the bottom it just has a couple of strips, brass strips. And you can see there from the end that you just set it on the rail. You turn the power up if you're running DCC on a particular locomotive, whatever locomotive you're running. If you're running DC, it doesn't matter. And once you get the power up, you just set the end of the locomotive on this cleaner. The locomotive runs, and the brushes just clean the wheels on the locomotive. I find it to work real well on diesel locomotives. I don't run much steam, so I can't really advise you on cleaning steam wheels, but it works exceptionally well on diesels. Now we're going to move on to the next phase here. Okay, lastly here, I guess the thing I'd like to stress about track cleanliness is, and a lot of us can't do it, but the thing that needs to really be done is just run your trains. If you run your trains often, it tends to keep the track a lot cleaner, keeps the locomotives running good. The metal to metal wheel contact of the locomotives keeps the track a lot cleaner. I also didn't discuss plastic wheels versus metal wheels, simply because that's just a giant issue. A lot of guys like metal wheels. A lot of guys like plastic wheels. Personally, this layout's been up for quite some time in 2 different forms, and all these, well, not all of them, but most of the cars you see out here have been on both layouts, and I have never cleaned a wheel on a car. and I run them not as much as some, but a lot more than others, and I just don't find a need to clean the wheel sets. I just don't have any kind of build-up problem, even using the rail zip. So contrary to what some guys say, I don't find the rail zip as an issue. That being said, like I say, I'd just like to encourage you to get out there and run your trains occasionally, and just let them go and enjoy them. Track cleaning is not really a monumental thing in most cases, unless you're in a really dirty environment or something. But just keeping a track cleaning car on a train, I think, is the key that I would have to recommend. And if you guys think of any questions or whatever, email us at the shop, or post a comment here and I'll try and get back to you on it. I'm trying to think if I've left out anything. I don't think so. But most of all, guys, enjoy your trains and run them. And this is Mike Fifer. I'll talk to you next time.